Joining us now is Tamara Bolden, Senior Director of Call Center Operations for 211 with United Way for Southeastern Michigan, as this is all February 211 Awareness Month for United Way, talking all about their lifeline in times of crisis. Tamara, thank you for being with us today.
Thank you for having me.
Appreciate having you on. So let's start with what 211 is. This is a very important resource that's available here in our local area through the United Way. And give us some insight into the many different ways people can utilize 211 in times of crisis.
All right. Well, first of all, 211 is a 365 days, 24/7 operation. So if someone is experiencing crisis around food insecurity, utilities, shelters, needing somewhere to go, warming stations because it's so cold, taxes. Right now we're in tax season and you need some support and can't afford to pay for your taxes to get done, you can call 211. So there's many reasons you can call 211. Those are some of the ways that we assist people who are in crisis.
We're joined by Tamara Bolden from the call center for 211 with United Way for Southeastern Michigan, joining us on the MegaCast. And so these resources that can be utilized through the 211 hotline all throughout the year, as you said, 24/7, 365 days a year. These are a lot of really important services, but they're also expensive services too. So how are these funded through the United Way, which is a nonprofit organization?
Yes, actually, to run a call center, 211, it costs millions of dollars, probably a little bit over $2 million. So what we do is to raise money to be able to actually manage the call center is through our fund development. We're part of their yearly structure of going out and raising money. So they raise money so we can have 22 operators available to be able to assist individuals in their time of need, which is a crisis. So that's one way we raise money. Additionally, some of the services that we do, we're information and referral. So some of the services we don't provide directly, not direct services. We actually are the person who holds their information. So if someone calls us, we can get them over to the organization to get to be able to apply for that assistance. Now, some of those organizations do apply for grants through United Way and micro grants through the United Way. So the people who are out there on the front lines helping individuals who are struggling, they do apply for grants throughout the year with United Way.
We're joined by Tamara Bolden, Senior Director of Call Center Operations for 211 through the United Way of Southeastern Michigan, joining us on the MegaCast. And it's interesting because with all these different services, they range from help with childcare, mounting bills, shelter for the night. As you said, even tax help is among the services that can be provided through the 211 hotline. That's a lot of different areas of expertise to help various people throughout the day and throughout the year deal with. So what goes into the training, or at least into the recruitment of these call center operators that are helping all these people? Because I would imagine they got to be a little bit of an expert in all these different areas to point these clients ultimately in the right direction.
Well, actually, I'm glad you said that. We have a rigorous process to be able to work in the call center. So therefore, on the front end of it, where we interview people, we do 100 survey question, then we do 2 interviews, and then we do a 2-week training. And we do ongoing weekly training through AIRS to make sure that all information is updated and readily available. So we do constant training. So you do have to be a person that can manage a lot of information and process it. And as things change, imagine in the pandemic, we had all this information in our database and it changed in an instance. So we had to reach out to all these over 10,000 agencies to say, hey, what are your operations? When are you open? When are you closed? How will you serve people? All of that information had to be changed in an instant just to manage the pandemic. And we were able to do that. We have a database team where we manage our database. So we got a team of 5 people that are working constantly to keep that information current. And anything that comes down the pipeline, we're putting it through our wiki. So we're constantly putting in new information and we're constantly training our staff. But the people that we have on staff, they love helping people. They have a servant leadership mentality, and they want to see people do well and come out of their crisis in whatever way that they can support them. They're willing to do it. So we do have a rigorous process to make sure that the right people are answering the phone, because remember, if someone is in a crisis, you don't want to get someone who's not empathetic, who doesn't care. You need that person to actually see you through it, because when someone is struggling, the brain doesn't function at a high level. So you need someone that's calm, compassionate, and knowledgeable to get them through that particular crisis. So that's why we take our time to make sure that we find the right people to answer the phones.
We're joined by United Way Director of Call Center Operations for the 211 Center in Southeastern Michigan, Tamara Bolden, joining us on the MegaCast. And as you mentioned some of those changes that need to happen at your call center for those call center operators because of the pandemic. But on a wider scale, generally speaking, for the 211 services, how have those been impacted across the board in terms of need and in terms of the difference in services that are typically being sought by those that are calling 211 during the course of this pandemic?
Great question. What we had to do is what many businesses had to do. We had to pivot. So usually we just doing the information and the referral, and we've really expanded our direct services. So right now we do all the processing for utilities. We work directly with DTE. So if someone calls 211, we're going to walk them through the process, make sure that they get all the information entered so they can actually get payments to pay their arrears off, or get into programs to learn how to be self-sustainable, or weatherization. Some people just don't know that their energy is up too high and that they need to, cover their hot water tank. So we're there for that. But also we've expanded because of the pandemic. Now we've partnered with Macomb County. We process their applications for the SARA program. That's the COVID Emergency Rental Assistance Program, where people were facing eviction. And I know that they said people couldn't be evicted, but people were still getting letters. So we partnered with them to process their applications, because we process applications. So why not do that for people who are facing eviction? So we've done that. And now we've moved into a partnership with the HANDS. That's the a PANS project, to where now we'll be helping more of the Michigan, Detroit people be able to complete applications and be able to stay in their house as well. So we're working with landlords, we're working with tenants. We do have a MyHalf program where we're working with homeowners to keep them in their homes. So we're doing a lot of processing applications. And I know people say, oh, processing an application, but it is if one thing is missing, they will not get the funds that they need to be able to stay in their homes. So it is important to train people to make sure that they're following the procedures, getting all the proper documentation, and making sure that we see them from beginning to end, and that check is cut and that people stay in their homes. So we've expanded our direct services to where it's not just about utilities, it's about housing. So we do a lot of work around housing, and we're very proud of it. And we just want to make sure that more people can stay in their homes and not become evicted from their homes.
We're joined by Tamara Bolden, Senior Director of Call Center Operations for the 211 Call Center through the United Way of Southeastern Michigan. That's not just over the phone, however, that you can get these 211 services. Is that correct, Tamara? What are some other ways that if people are in need of the 211 services, they don't have time to call, their issues may not be so urgent that they need help over a phone call? There are other ways people can get access to these services.
Yes, and I'm glad that you said that, because a lot of people still like to call. We get a lot of calls. Oh, yeah. We got over 250,000 contacts within the last year in 2021. So you can email us, you can chat us, you can go on our line and look at through our portal, the technology savvy portal, put in their information, and they can get some information around where they can get support. Prior to the pandemic, people come to our satellite sites. But during the pandemic, we had to discontinue that. But that will be back once everything is back to normal.
We're joined by Tamara Bolden, Senior Director of Call Center Operations for 211 with the United Way of Southeastern Michigan. Again, those resources, of course, calling 211, you can get access to those resources. Their live chat, information on emailing the United Way of Southeastern Michigan about the 211 services, and searching their database of services can be found on their website, unitedwaysem.org/get-help, unitedwaysem.org/get-help. And so, Tamara, a couple more minutes with you before we'll say goodbye today. Any other information at this time that would be important for our audience to know about 211, about those services, who they're available to, or any other information we haven't discussed at this time?
The thing I would like to lift up is that it is National 211 Awareness Month. So this whole month, we're out talking about 211, making sure more people know about us. I know a lot of people say, well, everybody knows about 211, but there's really a lot of people who've been impacted by the pandemic that have never needed resources before. So we have a new target audience. So we're trying to make sure that we get the word out about 211 and call us if you're in a crisis. So that's one thing where it's National 211 Awareness Month. But also on February the 11th is the 211 Celebration Day. It's a national day that we celebrate 211. So we're so proud of the work that our staff is doing, that we're doing throughout Michigan with the other call centers. So we're excited about that, and we just want to stop and honor them on that day. We're continuing to lobby to get additional funding to make sure that we can broaden the scope of the work that we do within 211. So we're excited about that. And we just want to say that regardless if you think that you qualify for something or not, because of the pandemic, the FPLs have been raised. And as a result of that, more people are qualifying for resources. So if you've never qualified before, please don't think, oh, I can't get anything. Think, I'm going to try and see. Call us up. We will walk you through it. And there's many new pilot projects out there to help people get through the pandemic. So give us a call if you're in a crisis. Do not sit home and need food, if you're facing eviction, if your utilities, if you don't have anywhere to sleep, if you know of people who are struggling, who are suffering, call on their behalf, get the information to them. All of us together can make a difference in someone's lives. We hear the testimonies every day of people utilizing these services, and it's making a difference. So we're excited to say we're celebrating this month. We know there's much more work to do, but sometimes you have to stop and celebrate and acknowledge the people that do the work, and that's what we're doing this month. So I just want to lift up that this is a celebration month for us.
Well, Tamara, thank you very much for joining us and telling us more about these services through 211 and to raise awareness about 211 Awareness Month.
Yes, thank you so much.